What's up, guys? Welcome to Knockers on the Bottom. I'm your host, Jay Mill. Jay Mill, if you like. So let's get into it. Today we actually got news a couple of days ago that the Cowboys have three All Pros. But before we get into that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So let me give you guys an update on the contest. So I actually went in to try to get a gift card from the Dallas Cowboys apparel shop, and I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties there. Purchasing it, they keep refunding my money back, which is weird, instead of giving me the gift card. I think I'm going to pivot. I'm going to do the giveaway, and it's still going to be a gift card, but I figure in today's climate and times, maybe I shouldn't do it to just the Cowboys gift shop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do either a Visa gift card or an Amazon gift card. One of the two. I know that'll be much more helpful to people. Somebody in the comments made a comment about not wanting any Cowboys gift cards. They'd rather have some gift cards to the waste management so they can put them in the trash. I mean, they were trash this year, so I thought that was pretty funny. I'm going to pivot. We'll do it for a Visa gift card or an Amazon gift card, whichever one's easier and whichever one doesn't give me trouble. So I'm going to try the Visa gift card first because that can be used anywhere. And then if not the Visa gift card, then I'll do the Amazon gift card because that can be added virtually as well. So that should be pretty straightforward. So we'll update you. It'll be happening this week. Let's try to shoot for this Friday again to give everybody a fair shot. So again, gift card giveaway this upcoming Friday. Tune in. Same rules. It'll be in the first 5 minutes of the episode, and we'll pivot from the Dallas Cowboys apparel shop. I was having trouble with it anyway, and maybe that was a sign that, you know what, let's do something a little bit more useful for everyone. So now let's get into some of the Cowboys news and notes. Like I said, 3 All-Pro members. You can see them on the screen. Brandon Aubrey, Kevontae Turpin, CeeDee Lamb. Shout out to those guys. CeeDee Lamb, having the AC joint injury that he had this year and still being able to make second-team All-Pro without playing for the last 2 weeks, that's just a testament. Honestly, out of the new contracts we gave out as far as Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, I'm much happier with CeeDee Lamb's results, of course, than I am with Dak Prescott, considering he was injured. But also considering that even before the contract came up, out of those two guys, and if you want to lump in Michael Parsons, the one I was least worried about living up to their contract was CeeDee Lamb. Now, the Cowboys have themselves in a pickle here because they're dragging their feet with Mike McCarthy, but who didn't see that coming, honestly? Like I said, I was up to 99% sure that, or 90% sure that he was coming back based on them refusing to let the Bears talk to him. But in typical Cowboys fashion, his contract expires on the 14th. Here we are on the 12th. No movement, right? They're going to wait until the very last day. We're not going to get any announcements today. We may get an announcement tomorrow at like the 25th hour because the contract expires on the 14th. I don't know what they're trying to do here. Mike Bassick, if you guys listen to 105.3 The Fan, has this theory that the Cowboys are always trying to be number one in the news cycle. And with the playoff games going on today, it's hard to be number one in the news cycle if you announce something today. But if they wait till the playoff games are done today and then announce sometime tomorrow, then they'll take up the whole news cycle leading into the Monday night playoff game, and it'll be exactly what Jerry Jones wanted. Awesome. We got to dominate the day of news, which sucks because I get it. Your job as an owner is to promote your team, right? And your job as an owner is to make sure you're making the most money and putting your team in the forefront. The problem that we have here is Jerry Jones is also the general manager. And the job of the general manager is to put the best team together. And in order to put the best team together, you got to have your coaching staff in place, right? So you want to put your coaching staff in place first, get all those guys going so that you know, hey, this is the type of scheme we run. These are the type of players we look for. And now you can start to fill out your roster based on what the coaches like and what is best for their system. When you drag your feet on that, right, the Cowboys, it kind of is a double-edged sword, right? Because if they drag their feet on it but they retain Mike McCarthy, then it's not a big deal because they've been drafting and putting players in place for that system for the last 5 years. But if they drag their feet on Mike McCarthy and then decide they don't want him, and let him go on and move on and do what he needs to do, well, now all these other franchises that have coaching openings have started to interview a lot of these coaches that are available already. As a matter of fact, I mean, the Patriots already hired Mike Vrabel. I mean, that they're pretty much the first team to make a hire. So it's just like if the Cowboys drag their feet and then they end up moving on from Mike McCarthy, that's, I think, when I'll have more of a problem. That's the other edge of that sword, because you're once again putting yourself behind the eight ball. Now you're last to the table of interviews of all the teams with the open coaching slots, right? So the Cowboys, I don't. This offseason is going to be very interesting, very entertaining. All right, so I'm frustrated, as you can probably tell here, just kind of by the way that they're operating. But hey, I mean, he's a billionaire, so I guess he knows what he's doing. And we're all just schmucks here, waiting for the team to make moves so that we can kind of get a look at what the Cowboys are going to look like in the 2025 season. Hopefully not as bad as they looked in the 2024 season, although it wasn't all bad. Everybody will lead you to believe that the season was all crap. It wasn't all bad, but there was a lot of bad, more bad than good. And so in order to make a change from that, we need to start seeing a change from the way we operate normally, but doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon. And I'm not talking about necessarily just Jerry Jones being the general manager and, doing all this stuff that he's doing behind the scenes to try to make the Cowboys relevant as far as people talking about it. I'm talking about operating in terms of the types of players we put, the type of way we run our plays, the type of system that's installed offensively, the type of profile player that we look for defensively, right? If we're having trouble defending that run on the edges, maybe somebody like Trayvon Diggs isn't necessarily a good fit. Maybe you do want someone opposite of DaRon Bland that's a more physical tackler. And speaking of DaRon Bland, he's coming up too, needing a contract. Diggs is hurt. I mean, there's no way that I'd rather have, at this point, Trayvon Diggs over DaRon Bland, but we'll get into that conversation later. But what I'm saying is we need to change some things, right? We need to change what we're doing as an organization, even if we can't change who owns it and who runs it. Maybe we need to zig instead of zagging. So let's get into some game picks for today. So the first game on the docket is the Broncos and the Buffalo Bills. I have the Broncos winning this game, and I think it'll actually be close early, but I think the Broncos will win something like 34-20 or 34-24. And I do believe that they're actually I think it's 10.5-point favorites, or maybe 6.5-point favorites. I actually think it's 6.5. So I think they're going to cover the spread. I do think that they'll end up winning, like I said, 34-24. I think Josh Allen has his patented Josh Allen game. He runs for two, he throws for two, and, they kick ass all up and down the field, and Bo Nix doesn't know what to do with it. Maybe they miss an extra point in there or something, or maybe they go for two, late in the game to try to make it, a healthier lead, and they don't get it. That's how you get to your 34 points. I think Bo Nix will play okay, but I think Bo Nix, as the game goes on, will start to have some of those things that rookies tend to have in their first playoff game, a little bit of the yips. The defense will start getting to them. And all in all, I think the Buffalo Bills will pull it out. So the next game, to me, is the most difficult game to call because the Commanders versus Tampa. I mean, I think this is going to be the highest scoring game of the day. I think it's going to be the most entertaining game of the day. The 8 o'clock game is a pretty good one too. But I think this is going to be the most entertaining game of the day by far. I do think that the Commanders end up... I've been waffling on this, man. The Commanders end up winning. And I think it's a shootout. It's something like 38-34. The Commanders, end up beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. I think both teams do well. I think Baker Mayfield throws multiple touchdown passes. I think Jaden Daniels runs and throws for multiple touchdown passes. I think none of these defenses can stop each other. The Commanders can't stop the run. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers can't stop the pass. So I look for Bucky Irving and Terry McLaurin to just be beasts today. If that game, I don't know what the point spread is that on that one, but I'd be betting the over there as well if it was me. But yeah, I think Washington goes on the road, gets a playoff win for Dan Quinn. Now, on to the night game, the premier game, Packers versus Eagles. I guess you guys already know where I'm leaning. There's no freaking way I'm picking the Eagles. I'm picking the Packers. I don't care what Saquon's done. I don't care what Saquon will do. But you know, is it just me hating the Philadelphia Eagles? Probably, 100%. Jordan Love goes on the road, you know, and puts it on Philly. Although I think this is also going to be like this is probably going to be to me like one of the lower scoring games of the day, because I actually do think both defenses are playing well. Philly's defense is playing well. Green Bay's defense is playing well, and the Packers are kind of lumped up a little bit, right? They're missing Watson. Jordan Love is cleared to play, but he's kind of, he was injured going into the playoffs. Jalen Hurts is coming out of concussion protocol. So there's just a lot of interesting things going on the offensive side of the ball for both teams. And then you add into the fact that the Eagles defense has been playing well down the stretch towards the end of the season, and the Packers defense has been playing well down the stretch towards the end of the season. Now the Packers have had a hard time with teams that are really, really good this year. They're 0-4 or 0-5 in games against teams over 500 this year, or playoff bound teams. So the Packers are having some trouble there. They lost to Philadelphia. They lost to Detroit twice. They lost to Minnesota twice. So the teams that they have to go through in order to get where they got to go, they've been having trouble with those teams pretty much this entire season. So it's going to be interesting, me picking the Packers, but I am of the firm belief that Jordan Love is one of the few quarterbacks that can go into anybody's home, like he did to the Cowboys last year, and kick butt and be able to pull out a win. I would say the Packers win this game, say 24-23 on a last-second field goal by the kicker there. But yeah, I guess that's all I got for you guys today. You can follow me on Twitter at JMillerIYL. That's JMiller if you like. You can also hit me up at knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. Again, knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. You can also hit me up at knockersonthebottom@gmail.com. You can leave comments below if there's anything that you want me to cover, anything specific questions-wise that you have. And I'll take them here. I'll take them via Twitter. I'll take them via email. Throw them into a mailbag, make it a formal segment. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, Friday, giveaway, gift card giveaway. We're going to do either Visa or Amazon gift card giveaway in place of the Cowboys card giveaway. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you guys. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Until next time, I'm your host, J Mill. J Mill, if you like. This has been Knockers on the Bottom. Peace.